All right, guys, welcome to your workout. It's me, Whitney Johns, your trainer. We're going to be doing HIIT and core today. So I hope you're ready to go. I hope you have high energy today. Let's get warmed up. First, all you're going to need for this is a mat and a kettlebell and your body weights. Make sure you have water to stay hydrated and a sweat towel because hopefully you will be sweating. That's the goal. All right, let's start with some knee hugs. Bring those knees in, get into the hip flexors, and then we're gonna do spinal twist. Do as I'm doing, and get your breath going. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Toe touch. We're gonna keep all of our stretches dynamic to start. That is going to help get circulation going, warm you up, but also not get too stretched in your muscles. We're gonna prevent injury that way. Cat-cow, really arch, and then curl. Breathing again. And hip stretch, and then bring it back for a hamstring stretch. Forward, and hamstring stretch. Breathing, and switch legs. Forward and back. Last one. Good. Now, since we're using our entire body, we want to get our upper body and our lower body warmed up. So we're going to get that shoulder cross body stretch. And then our hamstring with a little, or not hamstring, tricep with a little side bend. Just got to wake up in the morning still. Reach tall and then stretch it over. Good. Now, I'm going to demonstrate all of the exercises for you first. Our work intervals are going to be in work intervals of 35 seconds with a 20-second rest. So you're going to push super hard during the work interval for 35 seconds. Don't worry, you're going to get a break. You can catch your breath. And then we're going right back into the next exercise. So we're doing 2 different circuits. And the first circuit is 4 different exercises. So I'm going to demonstrate all of them for you first, and then we're going to get moving, okay? So first is a walkout. So reach up high, dive down, walk it out, tap your shoulders, and then walk it back. And then do it again. And then we have the kettlebell jackknife. So grab your kettlebell, make sure it's heavy enough that you're challenging yourself, but light enough that you can have proper form. You're going to bring those knees and the kettlebell together and then extend opposite directions at the same time. Really squeezing your core on that one, okay? Then we have the kettlebell burpee. So bringing your kettlebell to the front of your mat, you're gonna come down, burpee, and bring it up, back down to a burpee, bring it up. Squeeze those glutes as you bring that kettlebell up. Then we have the Russian twist. Kettlebell again, making sure your shoulders are back, chest is up. Lift those feet up off the ground, and you're going to twist the knees with the upper body. Got it? So those are our 4 for this circuit. We're gonna go 35 seconds, 20 seconds rest, and push hard. Got it? Let's make sure our timer is set. And we're gonna start with those walkouts in 4, 3, 2, and go. Reach, dive out, tap the opposite shoulder, come back, and make sure you come up nice and long. Again, making sure that your breath is coordinated. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Good. Keep that core super tight throughout the movement. 5 seconds left. Good. Catch your breath. Dumbbell jackknife. We're going to get in that position. This one is great for the core. I want your belly button sucked into your spine throughout the entire movement. 5, 4, and let's go. Extend, bring it in. Have a nice little hip lift at the top. Really contracting the core. And you want your movements to be super slow and deliberate. You don't want to just be swinging around and trying to go too fast. You want to make sure you're really engaging the core. That's the whole point. Good. Now, kettlebell burpee. Bring that kettlebell to the top of the mat. Catch your breath. You can always take a drink of water, hydrate whenever you need. We got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. And shoot it back. Squeeze the glutes to bring it up. Now, as you get more familiar with the form and more comfortable with each movement, you can start pushing it on your speed and intensity. Good, 10 seconds, push it. Almost there. Good, very nice. Now we have the Russian twist. How you guys feeling? You're gonna start to feel, especially in that second round of the circuit, you're gonna start to feel your heart rate really start to shoot up, which is exactly what we want. And Russian twist, feet up off the ground. Nice twist, really feel like your spine is twisting, just like we did in a spinal twist in the warm-up. Shoulders are back, chest is up. Really get those knees far to the side. Feel those obliques working. 4, 3, 2. Good. All right. Back to the walkouts, back to the top. That means the first set is over with. Good job. Congratulations. All right. Starting with the walkouts. Catch that breath and ready. Reach long, dive down. Tap the opposite shoulder. And breathing. Really hinging in the hips as you dive down. Good, guys. We're almost there. Get one last one in. Great. Perfect job. All right, jackknife. How you guys feeling? I hope you are starting to get that heart rate up, starting to feel it. On your back. Bring it in. Extend. Really making sure that your rib cage is not sticking out, back isn't arching too much. Keep that spine against the mat. Good. Very nice. Okay, kettlebell burpee. Get ready for that cardio movement. And 3, 2, 1, shoot back and up. Make sure you're really squeezing those glutes as you come up. You can push it on your speed. Very nice, guys. All right, Russian twists. This one is great for feeling that core burning. We always want to get some extra ab workout in. 3, 2, and twist. Really engage those core muscles and your obliques. Good, keep those feet lifted up off the ground. Ten seconds, y'all. You got this. Perfect. Very nice. Okay, back to the walkouts. Now we are on our third and final set, which is good. That means we are almost halfway through the workout. All right, start at the back of your mat. Up, reach, and walk it out. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. Nice, strong stance. Really squeezing that core in tight. Good. All right. We got the jackknife. Really making sure your core is engaged and contracted. Really making that mind-muscle connection is really what's going to make a difference. 3 seconds. All right. Extend, squeeze it in. Extend those feet out long. Just a slight pause at the fully extended position. Good, guys. You hanging in there? I hope so. Now, even if you feel like quitting during that work interval, and if it feels really challenging, you want to just stop, don't stop, just slow it down so that the entire work interval, you're at least moving. That's what's important. Burpee, and up. You can go at your own pace. You just want to make sure you're continuing to work. Good. 10 seconds. Easy. Good. All right. Russian twist. This is the last time you're going to have to do this exercise. You got this. It's actually the last exercise of this set completely. 3, 2, twist it over. And you're not using your arms to move the kettlebell. You're twisting your whole upper body. That's what's moving that kettlebell from side to side, is the twisting. 15 seconds. You've got it. Give it all you have. This is the last time you have to do this. 3, 2, 1. Whew. Very nice. All right, guys. Proud of you for sticking with it. Now, let's go into our second circuit. The second circuit, I'm going to do all the demonstrations of the exercises again, so you know what you're doing. Now, we're gonna start with cross mountain climbers, okay? So, you're gonna get in plank position. Make sure that your shoulders are directly above your wrists. And you're going to drive the opposite knee up to the opposite elbow. Got it? And then you're gonna do it in a quick motion, alternating. Okay, you're gonna get a nice twist in there. More oblique work is which is exactly what we want. Helps with those love handles. Helps bring the serratus anterior in. All right, kettlebell reach through, lunge, okay? So this is a lunge. We're going to alternate passing the kettlebell through the legs at the bottom position. So, starting here, you're gonna pass it through to the other arm, lunge it down again, pass it to the other arm. Got it? You're just alternating lunges, alternating the pass through. All right, so in quick motion, it looks like this. Got it? Okay, now, plank reptiles. You're gonna be in plank position, and you're gonna bring that knee, same knee now, up to the same elbow, same side. Okay, nice little side crunch. Lots of obliques today. Then we have the Superman. On your stomach, you're gonna raise the feet, the legs, and the upper body all at the same time, keeping your core nice and tight throughout the movement. Up, squeeze and pause for 1, and down. Up and down. Got it? Keep that chest up, shoulders back. Then we have the reverse crunches. On your back, more core work. You're going to make sure that your vertebrae are super flat down on the mat. Raise those feet up. Slight bend. You can put your hands below your bum for support. You're gonna slowly extend, tap, and then lift. All right, that's how it's gonna go for this circuit. We got 5 exercises. Again, work interval of 35 seconds with a 20-second rest. Got it? We're gonna start with the mountain climbers. In 3, make sure you're in your plank position. 2 and 1. Cross, elbow, knee. Really keeping your belly button sucked into your spine so your core is nice and tight. Feel that slight lean with each movement. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. Good. Perfect. Now we're going to do standing reach through lunge. Grab your kettlebell. All right. This one's great for getting the heart rate up. You're also working your legs and your glutes on this one. So 3, 2, 1. Reverse. And pass it through. Opposite hand. Alternating the lunge. So whatever knee is forward is the opposite of the arm that is holding the kettlebell. Does that make sense? Sometimes this takes a little bit of coordination at first. Keep it going. Good. All right. Plank reptiles. We're going to get into plank position again. And then remember, it's that slight twist, knee to the same side elbow. Side bend, 3, 2, 1, and side bend. Try to keep that knee high, and it's more out to the side. Keep the core nice and tight, contracted. Feeling that side of your core engaged. Good. Perfect. Now, Superman. Laying on your front side. Again, you want to make sure you're raising your upper body and your lower body at the same time. Nice and high. Up and down. You're going to squeeze your glutes as well, feeling it in your lower back. Quick pause and down. See if you can corset those ribs in on this. So the front of your core stays just as active and engaged. Strengthening those back muscles. Awesome job. All right, now we have the reverse crunches. So back on your back. Catch your breath. Control your breathing. So deep inhale, deep exhale, and now into the exercise. Hands under your butt. Slight lift at the top. Okay, really contracting the core. And then making sure when you extend those legs down that your ribs aren't jutting out. You're not doing this. Okay, you're keeping that back flat on the mat. Pulling those abs in tight. Perfect job. We are done with the first set. Now on to the second. Back into those cross mountain climbers. You guys are rock stars. We are on the home stretch. That is the good news, all right? 3, 2, 1. Opposite knee to elbow. Breathing. Make sure your shoulders are directly above your wrists. Good, 10 seconds. Good job. All right, kettlebell. Grab that kettlebell. We're gonna do the lunge reach through. Again, hydrate whenever you need. That is the number one rule. And 3, 2, 1, reach through. This one's also really good for your balance. Working those stabilizers. Keep that upper body nice and tall. You got this. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Perfect. Plank reptiles. We're gonna get into that plank position again. I love plank variations. They basically work so many different muscles, including your upper body, your strength, your shoulders, your core, legs, everything. All right, knee to elbow. Nice side crunch. Keep the front of your core tucked in, nice and contracted. Again, making sure your shoulders are directly above your wrists. Form is everything. Perfect job. All right, we got the Superman. How are you guys feeling? Are you sticking with it? Even when you want to quit, are you just at least still moving? Even if it's slower, that's all I care about. 5 seconds. This time, try to get even higher of a lift than you did last time. Squeeze it up. Quick little release at the bottom, and then right back up. You want to keep that tension on those back muscles throughout the entire movement. Awesome job. I love those because it is very important to not neglect the back of your core. Everybody's always focused on the abs, but you have to have a really strong back, a strong erector spinae, which is the muscles along your spine, in order to have a supported core. All right, reverse crunch. Again, slow and deliberate. You're not swinging. You're not using momentum. You're using the contraction and the pull of the core muscles. Tap the heels down. Amazing. All right, guys. Now, we have our last set, mountain climbers, reverse. We're going to get through as much of this circuit as we can. All right, cross mountain climbers, go. Nice twist. Breathing. 10 seconds. Five seconds, and you're almost there. Perfect job. I'm gonna tell you something. We're only gonna do one more out of this circuit because we need to make a little bit of time for the stretch. Okay, so what we're gonna do is Supermans because we didn't get enough for our erector spinae today. On the ground, lift it up, and pause at the top. Corset those ribs in as much as you can. This is our last exercise, guys. Don't quit now. Good work. Okay, we're gonna do a quick stretch because I don't like leaving you guys hanging in that department. Heel out, creep forward for the hamstring stretch. All right, you want this hip hinge going on, feeling it here. All right, other leg. Really breathing into that hamstring if you can. Imagine that. Good. You're gonna do an abdomen stretch. Come down on your stomach, press up, get nice and long in your midsection, really feel it. You can kind of lean side to side. Come back in a child's pose. Deep breath here. Stretching those hips a bit. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining me. Come check out my app at fitwithwhitapp.com or come back and see me here. Have an awesome day.